Welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah and today I have actually some books to read as opposed to last week where I had, one thing. I did manage to get some reading done this week. Some shorter and easier stuff because that's really all I could handle, but I did get some things done. At the top of the list, I finished The Price of Power by Michael. I'm not 100% on how to pronounce his last name. My apologies. Check it out here. This is a grimdark epic fantasy I talked a little bit about last week, but in this we follow a handful of viewpoints as we're leading up to a big event. Now this is what I would call a setup book, but it is a fantastically done setup book. I highly recommend that you pick up Warsong by this author. It preludes this, and each of these people, there's about 5 of them I think, they are all part of this nation that is a alliance of people who were enslaved and colonized and almost wiped out by this group called the Scothia, again, pronunciation. And in Warsong, we see the beginning of a rebellion that overthrows that nation, pushes it back, and then this little allied group takes up and works together to create their own sort of peaceful harmony sort of place. But there's trouble on the horizon. The groups aren't getting along now, and we're following these different people as things are happening that are indicating something is coming. So we have a prince who everyone thinks is dead, Barodane. He goes by Cord now. Cord. We have a princess who is the next in line for the ruling position of this allied council of nations, of peoples. We have a young man who is honestly just trying to die. He is just trying to exit this plane of existence, and he is going to a holy mountain where something like 5% of the people who go up on this mountain come back down. Most of them come back down mad with power and need to be put down, and a very small amount come back as these magically endowed mages called Awakened. He doesn't think that's going to happen. He's just going up onto this mountain to see what's up there and to end himself. And we also follow, I lost it. It was Cord. It's Isha? Thephius? Oh, yes. My goodness. And the first person point of view in this is an old woman who is watching her grandson, who she needs to mold into this great power before the arrow of light arrives and quote unquote ends the world, maybe ends the world. I can't remember exactly if he's just going to end the world or if he's going to destroy Namar, this nation. She has to mold her grandson into this great power to stop this arrow of light. So we follow all these views. 2 of them are striving towards something. 2 of them are looking almost to end themselves, and we see how they possibly will interact in the future. None of them quite meet in this, but oh my goodness, this was fantastic. The first part, as I mentioned last week, was a little slow. The 25-30% was just a hair slow, but after that I was fully invested. I really wanted to know what happened. I got genuinely upset at several points because some side characters that I loved didn't make it. It was good overall. If you want something that's very character driven, this is going to be for you. Like I said, this is a setup book, but it's so well done that it's so engaging. And even though there feels like not as much plot happens for the size and density of it, you get to love and care about these characters. And I cannot wait to see where the second book takes us. I have an arc for it. I am reading it very slowly on my phone. I just started the first chapter because I just downloaded it, I think, yesterday. But oh my goodness, I cannot wait. There is also some horror moments, some in the action part, in most of the back of it. The back of it is there's a lot more action, and there is a part with a worm on the mountain that Teffy's on. Oh my goodness. Straight out of a horror novel. I tell you what, if he ever decides to stop writing fantasy, try writing horror, because that part really worked. But I loved this. I gave it 5 stars. I do recommend it. It is grimdark, so blood, gore. There's some implied threatened sexual assault at one point to a man, and it's dark, but oh, it's good. It's so good. I can't wait to finish the second book and see what's up. I will actually, this author also has Way of the Wizard, I think it's called. I also have it on my Kindle, and I started it last week, so I'm now kind of binging through his books, slowly for me, but I am doing it. What else did I read? So the next thing I read was a Kindle book because I needed something fast and just like juicy, just so my brain would relax, and that was The Bone King and the Starling by Elizabeth Stevens. I have heard about this author from several of my friends here on YouTube, and this is one of her newest books, if not her newest book. It is a like fantasy-esque Viking-ish romance. Oh, don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Okay, I really like this. This was perfect. This was a perfect, fast, relaxing, just no thoughts, head empty sort of read that I needed after reading The Price of Power. It was a bit, there was some seriousness to it, like there were moments of darkness and stuff. It was just the right combination and it just worked. I just realized you guys can't see our little signage. Let's fix that. It was great. I do recommend it if you want a, how's that? If you want an easy sort of romance ebook, pick it up. The author has some really pretty special editions on her website. I'm gonna be honest, I went to buy the paperback, but it was sold out. So this is really good. I really liked it. I will try more of her work. I think her other main popular series is Omegaverse, which is not really my favorite, but she's got some others, maybe a sci-fi romance series I think I saw that I might read. So fantastic. 5 stars. Did I tell you what it's about? I didn't tell you what it's about. It is about a young thrall who is she lives and works in this village, and the Bone King, the ruling king of the area, has picked this village to host his next games, and these games are where he finds his next set of warriors that he's going to train and then send back to the villages to work as kind of his voice or to put into his main army to help protect his assortment of towns and villages. When the Bone King comes to her place, he sees her and he immediately knows, this is the woman for me. I am going to marry her and make her my queen. She is it. Now, where she lives, they are exceptionally cruel to their thralls, and he finds this out, and of course he's not happy about it. So it's also about him raising her up out of her station and then helping the people that she leaves behind as well in the end, and she needs to learn to live with his cruelty and his bloodlust, because he is a man. He likes to kill people. I mean, he likes to punish people quite bloodily. He is not a nice guy, and she has to learn to temper that or to live with that, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. It is dark, like I said, there's some bloody parts, but overall really good. I'm gonna shift a little. There we go. Oh my gosh. And speaking of thralls, and this was, see, Bone King and the Starling was the right way to do this trope. I had one DNF this week. I tried to read Firebird by Juliet Cross. Now, I do have a physical edition of this, but it is in my unhaul bag. I'm not fishing it out. It's not worth it. Beautiful book. Terrible insides. I really didn't like it. I saw a lot of the negative hype and a lot of the things people were saying, and I said, oh no, that doesn't sound good. So let me read it and find out what's what and if I'm going to like it. I didn't like it. First off, when I pre-ordered this, it was not marketed as a slave master romance, which is a hard no for me. I've only ever read one other book that someone is a slave to another person and there is a romance between the two. I tried to read I think it was a C.S. Picot series. That series, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Please, never, ever, never, never, never. This is more of that. This young girl, the main character, is 17 when she is first seen by this conquering general from this fantasy world version of a Roman legion. She is coded as Romani, which is, it's a whole other can of worms. She's 17 when he sees her and he's like, hot diggity, I want her, which is gross. She's 17. I know 16 and 17-year-olds, and I would choose violence. If I saw that happen, I would choose violence, and I would want someone to choose violence for me. So that was the first chapter. I didn't like it. I didn't like the description of her, even the way that Juliet Cross wrote the 17-year-old to be uber sexy. And then we continue on in the next chapters. We get his point of view, and he is leading this legion. It's about 5 years later. They have wiped out this force on the battlefield, and he comes back to his men who have caught the witch who was helping the opposing force. It's the dancer, it's the main character, the female main character, and she is being threatened by a bunch of men who are going to do exactly what you expect them to be doing in a dark romance. And he sees her and he's like, oh, that's that girl that I wanted. I'm going to take her. And his dragon, his alter, his like shape-shifting counterpart, his dragon wakes up. He pops off a little on his crew. He takes her to his house, and then boom, she's now his slave. There was actually very little. It was kind of that fast. He picks her up, he lands in his manor, he drops her, he walks off, and his head man, his butler, is like, you're our slave now. You're his slave now. She has to wear a necklace with his name on it. She is his assigned body slave. She is weirdly, I don't think she's okay. I think Juliet Cross thought she would be okay with this in her weird way of writing this. Oh, she's his body slave. She'll be thankful she's alive. It was gross, okay? It made me deeply uncomfortable. I don't think it was appropriate. I didn't like it. I don't think slave master romances are appropriate, especially in this context. Bone King and Starling, she's a thrall. She is lower parts of, community, not necessarily a slave, but his whole point is he's going to raise her up and make her his queen. He does not take her as a slave. She is his slave. He says it many times. She is his slave. She is his in the romantic sense, we'll say, but also in the she has no agency, she has no power, and she has no actual free will in this manner. And I just find that very uncomfortable. So this was a DNF. I'm not going to harp on it anymore. If somebody likes it, I mean, that's okay. Please don't come at me. I'm not going to like it. It's not really up for discussion. So everybody has their own. This is not me. This is not me. Moving on. I was grossed out by that so bad. I had to pick up a romance I knew would work, and that was Tattered Stars by Catherine Cowles. I really like Catherine Cowles because I know what I'm getting. I can start it and I can finish it in a day, and it makes me happy. It's easy. It's relaxed. It makes me happy. This is about Everly, who returns to her hometown after many years. When she was a young girl, she turned her dad into the police. He was a prepper, not that prepping is bad, but he was a prepper of the bad variety who had gotten caught up in the conspiracy theories. And he had kidnapped a girl and had locked her in his shed. And she goes to the police and turns him in. And because of that, her family, his side of the family, is very much on his side because they have also drunk the Kool-Aid, we'll say. So she turns her dad in, he goes to jail, and she had to leave the town. Well, she comes back because her mom left her the land that they lived on. She comes back to this town. She's afraid that the town will either hate her because of what her dad did, or she knows that her dad's family will try to run her out or hurt her. So the second part does happen. Her dad's family is violently against her being there. And part of the town, specifically the sheriff, who is our male main character, is not happy she's there. He comes around. He was the sister to the little girl that she saved because she did manage to get to the police in time to save her. And he is upset that she's back because he feels it will bring up bad memories for his mom and his sister, which it does, but they are much, much more forgiving and loving about it. And it is just Catherine Cowles' trademark, small town. Things aren't as bad as they seem, but there is some suspense because there is someone threatening our main characters, and it was good. I read it in a day, and it was really good. This, much like The Bone King and the Starling, was a great way for me to, cleanse the brain. After trying to read Firebird, it was not a good time. So this was good. We actually found this physical copy at my local Target. I think someone had ordered it through Target, and they had ordered the indie edition, which is what this is, and it was $5 on clearance because said person never picked it up, so I got this for $5, which is a win for me. Loved this. I have one other one that I got. There were two of these. The second book I have her newest, Sparrow Falls. That's the name of it, Sparrow Falls, to read. But I picked this up because it was on my desk, and it was great. And then finally, this good bad thing, I feel like it has been just the story of my life this month. But I'm on a better track now. The next thing I read was How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps by Andrew Rowe. This was recently picked up by Saga Press, so you can't actually get it at this point in time anymore, but I do recommend putting it on your radar. I believe it is slated for a fall release this year. They've changed the name. I think it's How to Defeat a Demon Lord now. Not sure. But this is Andrew Rowe lovingly taking the piss out of Zelda and a lot of those RPG stereotypes and tropes. We have a young girl named Yui, and she lives in a world where there is a cycle where a green-clad hero appears every so many years along with the Dark Lord, and he defeats the Dark Lord, saves the princess, and the world resets. But the Dark Lord has been, the Demon King has been wandering around for many, many years now, has destroyed much of the land, and Yui decides, I'm not gonna wait for the hero, I am going to do something about it. She has the class of Bag Mage, which is typically like a merchant will take that class or is born with that class and will use it to store things. Instead, she uses it cleverly to store things that she shouldn't be able to store, and she uses that to get around and do things. Now, it has all the Zelda tropes. We have the water, earth, sky, fire temples. We have the green garment. You see here she has to end up wearing that at some point. There are fairies. She has to go find the great fairies. Let's see what else is there. There is a fairy in a bottle who will occasionally pop out. You see the hero's shadow at one point, one of the temples, all the good stuff, and a sword in the rock. It is Zelda without being Zelda. My absolute favorite part that made me cackle out loud. The princess in this is not called Princess Zelda, clearly. She is Princess Fitzgerald, which just... I loved it. I had to send it to one of my group chats because I have several very bookish friends there, one of which is much more of a classics reader. He thought that was very funny, which was then followed up with a Great Gatsby meme, which was just perfect timing. Anyway, this was really good. I am very, very excited for the Saga Press reprint in the fall. Most definitely will be picking that up and reading it. So you will see this again this year. It was great. It's not perfect writing. It's not like the most intellectual thing, but it is so fun. If you love Zelda, if you like that type of video game, this is gotta be one you pick up. You gotta try it. It's super good. Like I said, it just lovingly takes the piss at it, and it's good. Had a good time. Let's see. I think there might be one more thing. The only arc that I have managed to read in the past few weeks, that is the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. Fantastic. Fantastic. So this is about a senior citizen center, I guess a retirement home called Autumn Springs, and a serial killer strikes. We're following Rose DuBois. I'm not sure how to say that properly. I'm not good at French accents. She is the quote-unquote final girl, or will she be? That's the question of this book. And people start to die. And her friends begin to notice, and they're thinking, this is odd. Sure, we're a retirement home, and yes, there is like this medical ward where people who die regularly, but this is very unusual. These seem a little unusual, and the deaths keep stacking up. And no one listens to them, of course, until a detective hits the case, and he feels that something is wrong, and they tell him something is wrong, and it's a slasher. And it's so good. This one really kept me going. It doesn't come out till I think October. I strongly recommend keeping an eye out for it, picking up a pre-order if you want a good horror slasher. I really loved this. It's especially good because the retirement home itself is a whole campus. There are several buildings. There are several different types of people there. So we have the infirm, like the actual people who need medical day-to-day care. And then there are just apartment buildings, two apartment buildings where just retired folk can buy an apartment and live there and be taken care of in casual ways. Like it is a varied cast, and we get a lot of interesting characters in it. He did a really good job of drawing different types of elderly folks, different folks who were sicker, but also folks who were very physically able. They were just living there because it was easier for them. Like, it was great. The afterward I especially liked because he worked through the grief of the death of his parents I think it was both of his parents. It may have just been his mom while writing the book. And you can really feel that because you feel his love for the characters and how, you know, he's showing that there is life at that age. A lot of people write off elderly folk, but there is a lot of life and power and intellect and everything in those people. But society at large kind of just, what's the word I want? Kind of just forgets about them. And this was great. And that's kind of the point of the serial killer being there, right? Because they think, oh, no one's going to notice all these old folks dying. Somebody does notice, and the old folks themselves actually do something about it. So like, it was great. I liked this a lot. I read his Boys in the Valley last year and enjoyed that. This is much stronger. I really like it more. Normally slashers are a little too gory. This had the perfect pitch of like violence, but also we had a lot of introspection. Just a fantastic horror read altogether. Definitely pick that up if you like horror books. So that's everything that I have read this week. Let's see, how long are we? 20 minutes? We're almost done. I'll show you the things I am currently reading. So I am currently working on A Girl Dinner by Olive E. Blake. This also comes out in the fall. What do I think of this? I'm halfway through it. This is technically my first Olive E. Blake. I have like maybe one or two of her books on my shelves. This one, I don't know how to feel about it yet. Even halfway through, there are times where I love it, and then there are times where I'm like, I really don't like it. So we'll see. It's not the writing and it's not the story itself, but she is trying to throw in a lot of thoughts and musings on womanhood, motherhood, and personhood, especially for women in this society, in this current climate. And I don't know yet. We'll see how it ends. I'm hoping it gets weird. That's kind of why I request it, but we'll see. And then my physical book is a lighter read for me. I haven't gotten a lot of time to read it, or I would have finished it because it reads super fast. And that is The Never List by Jade Presley. I took the dust jacket off. I don't read with dust jackets on. I am not a monster. I'm kidding, but not kidding. I'm not a monster. So The Never List, it's a fantasy romance, mostly vibes. But, you know, it's fun. It's a relaxing brain break, and it's very pretty. It has sprayed edges and inside artwork. And I'll talk about this some next week, but it's a young woman caught in this basically selection, but for adults. And she has to win over these 4 princes to become their mate, their wife, and help hold the balance of power in the world, especially with these sleeping goddesses who I don't think they're sleeping, but that's a whole other theory that's probably not going to be explored for like 2 more books. Anyway, reading this as well. But that is it. I've been making a list of all of the arcs that I have out, which is a lot. Oh, it's so many. So I'm going to try very, very hard to be reading through those. I don't think that's proper English. I'm going to try very hard to read through those in the next few weeks, or read through some of them. There's no way I can finish them in a few weeks. So hopefully we'll see a bunch more of those, but who knows? With the way my reading has gone this month, I made a TBR. I do make little TBR graphics. I don't usually post them, but I like having them to mark things off. And I have genuinely only marked off, I think, 2 things for this month, and boy, that hurts to look at. It hurts. And we have, 6 more days in the month? Yeah, April was a wash when it comes to TBR and getting things done. Hopefully May will be better. But that's it for this video today, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you've read. If you're going to read anything that I talked about. If you are a fan of Zelda, let me know. Because I'm telling you, How to Defeat a Demon King is fantastic for Zelda fans. I can't recommend it enough. But yeah, let me know what y'all are thinking, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Bye.